we all know what to do when he's in side control and his arms are out like this. This is like a dream for us, right? When he stick their arms out. But mostly, if people have been grappling for longer than 2 weeks, they know that they got to keep their arms in. So you'll encounter this a lot. There's things to do. With no gi, there's nothing to grab. There's no collars to grab. But if he's protecting his arms really well, then he's not really paying attention to his neck. So I want to go for a north-south choke here. Very effective. And the first thing I want to do is kind of distract him so he doesn't think I'm going for his neck. So I'm going to start messing with his arms here. And I want to put my body weight on top so he can't really get it out anymore either. So here like this, trying to mess with his arms. He's protecting really well. So I'm just going to put my weight on top of it and continue to distract him here. So now you can see I'm already setting myself up to go for this north-south choke here, right? I got to get my arm under there, and this is a long process here to get your arm under here, make his head turn that way, get my body on him, bring my legs up that way. So you really have to set yourself up properly. If you just start grabbing here, he knows what's going on. So it's got to be almost instantaneous, right? Here, start messing with his hands. I'm already, let's see how I'm already leaning on his face. I'm starting to turn his head that way already. That's where I need it to face, all right? Mess with his hands, and I just felt him lift his head up. It's perfect. There's certain people in here, or other places too, that you can't get their hand under their head because they insist on keeping their head heavy to the ground, so you can't do it on people like that. All right? Certain people. In here and in other places, I said. Everywhere. A lot of people do that. Not a lot, but all right. So we're here, messing with his arms. You're gonna go like that. Okay. So all I want to do, I'm not trying to make it tight at this point. I want to get my forearm under his neck, and I want to turn his head away and keep it faced away. Okay. Because when people do this to me, I immediately start putting my chin in the ribs like that right there, regardless of what else they're doing. Even if they tighten it up as tight as they can, they're not going to choke me because they're not choking my arteries. They're choking the back of my neck.
And you're not really choking.
And my chin, yeah. You can't choke my chin.
You can't choke this either, technically.
Unless they're a chin choker. Or like, you might actually, like if they're huge and really strong, you might tap just because it hurts really bad on the back of your neck, okay? But there's other things, and if you're gonna fight like that, there's other things you could do, just like press your thumb and your chin like this and they'll tap.
I gotcha.
Yeah, you know?
They're called the Suba?
Yes, Subo. Subo.
Subo's messed up.
Suba.
Suba or Subo?
Subo.
There's a whole series, like from Shudo, like with your elbow, and yeah. So yeah, I guess it's legitimate, but it's not. I'm not gonna be able to do it on like somebody like Zach, or Zach would do it on me. But that's not what we train for. We train to be able to deal with people in a certain way. All right, so over here like this. All right, I'm already starting to lean on his head like this right here. He doesn't realize it, but I'm already making his head go the way I want it to go. I'm distracting him here. See how I'm already crawling up this way too? Maybe he doesn't even realize it. Here, when I see an opportunity, I go, and I lean like this. So his head's turned that way. Right now, I can start working on making this tighter. All right, no gi, it's a lot easier. I rarely do this with gi because there's so much friction with the gi on my forearm. It's hard to get this all the way across. Right now, I'm not even going to use my other hand to grab my hand. I think if you do that, that'll cause you to do bad habits. All right, it'll make you think that that's how you're supposed to choke them. All right, but you're going to use this other hand for things other than that. So like what I try to do is I try to get my arm on this side of his arm, because if he's blocking me here, I can't really do it. You could probably try an arm in, kind of like an arm in guillotine sort of thing, reverse. But I'd rather just have his whole neck encircled like this. Right? Okay, so I use this hand. I try to shove his arm against his body here, just so he can't turn into me. Again, he wants to turn his chin into my ribs, right? But if I keep him from turning into me, it's going to be hard, right? So now I'm here, and my back is kind of on the side of his head. Watch what I do. I slide, and then I shove his head deep, okay? And at the same time, this arm is going that way, like this, okay? I'm using my body, not my hand. My hand's on his arm right here. Let me switch to this side so you can see what's going on here. Okay, so I was here, and I ended up in this position right here. Okay, see my hand? All right. So I walk my hips up that way so that I can have a lot of room to shove his head over here. So I go here, and I just start shoving it, okay? And this comes through as far as you can. This hand's here, keeping his elbow off the ground. That's just a habit I do, but I keep him pushed that way. Because if he turns that way, I'm okay with that. If he turns this way, that's bad. So I try to keep him like this right here. And you adjust even more. So I shove it even deeper. Okay? I want it all the way underneath my armpit. Once I feel it nice and tight, then I drop all my weight. Okay? You all right?
Yeah.
The legs go limp. All right, so hand on the ground. Okay? You're gonna slide back a little bit, and then
Next. So, I mean, that's what I usually have difficulty with, is when they turn into me.
Towards
So-
me.
Yeah, so that's, because I guess I was doing it wrong, like holding off with their hip, but I always found that they were bumping in, so this keeps holding their elbow enough, keeps them from turning that way.
yeah, right? Because if your elbow's off the ground, it's hard to turn that way. If you're holding their hip, they're moving their elbow like this, right? They're getting their elbow underneath them. so
Yeah, I
they
think
can
that's
turn.
where like I was finding
Yeah.
difficulty.
All right, so notice I didn't grab my hands at all. All right, sometimes I will if it's on a very, very wide person, because as I start sinking down, there's so much pressure that I'm flattening out their body, so it just makes my arm come out like that. So I need to pull it back into the choke. But it's not, this does not choke them, this just keeps it tight. Right? But I honestly, I prefer to keep my hand, not grabbing each other like this, because I can use the other hand to control their movement. Okay, so here I'll do a kind of more real-time speed here. So he's protecting. All right, so I get over the top here. I start kind of moving his head that way so he doesn't realize what's going on. I go. That was a match. Okay, so his head's turned away. All right, now I can start shoving, and don't see what I did. I almost lost it because I went like this. I almost allowed him to turn his chin into me like that. So you got to be careful. Keep his head turned that way. So you need to start pushing like that. My hand's underneath his elbow here, so he can't turn. Keep shoving it. At the same time, you're shoving your arm the opposite direction that your body's moving. Okay. Now I'm ready. It's actually not that tight yet, but I think I'm ready to go. So switch your base here. See how I slid back a little bit? It's pulling his neck out to extend it. All right. Now head over here, and then just ready. Okay. You know this?
I know it, but can I see it still?
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 'cause I want to see the certain details that you were talking about.
I got like the two worst people to illustrate this on.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You can do it for me.
Okay.
Still not as good to do it on you though. Hey, look, he's keeping his head up. Not that he was the one that we were talking about.
Yeah, we're
It's a possibility though.
It's got a mouthpiece in it and everything. Alright. Over here. Okay. So I start messing with his arms, but my body's already starting to turn his face that way. Okay. Messing here, and then he doesn't usually do it, but he gives me a little space under his head. Like that. Okay. And it's more like that was a two-step thing that I did there. You want it to be like all at the same time. So you go like that. And it's not deep, right?
Yeah.
It's just right here. I just needed to get my forearm under there. After that, I'll adjust. Right? But you need to, if you start digging around like this, then he's gonna slam his head down and hurt your fingers. Right? So you gotta do it right away. Like that. Turn his head, my hand's in there.
Would you get the hand all the way through if you could? From the front
Oh,
to
yeah,
down?
yeah, if I could, but I don't trust that I'll get it all the way through fast enough.
Sure, okay.
You know, you're gonna lose it. There's two things that'll happen. Number one, you won't get it. If you think that you're gonna push it through all the way, there's a higher risk of you not even being able to get the lock in. Second of all, you try it once and you fail, he's probably not gonna give you another opportunity to do it again, right? So he's gonna be watching for you the next time. All right, so make it count the first time, and it doesn't have to be all the way through. Okay? Somebody that's not that good, you can do it because they don't realize how to defend it properly. Here. See, I use my body to turn his head that way. I just got my wrist in it. Now, start pushing his head. I got this controlled here, so he's not turning into me. All right. Push. See how I use my body? It went really deep into my arm. Push, push. Now it's getting really deep. Okay? And my right hand is actually palmed down on the mat right now. Push his arm, pull back, sink, head down, and then